Hello, my name is Daniel Byler. I grew up Amish. I left the Amish first when I was 16. Um, I ended up going back because I was considered a runaway. And if I wouldn't have went back, they would have called the police, and the police would have came and got me, and I would have had to go home anyway. So I ended up going home until I was 18. I left again, and I left for 3 months. I missed my family, so I went back for 2 months, and then I left again. And this time out, I have been out here for 2.5 years now. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions about how Amish people grew up, how Amish people live. Um, there's a lot of stuff that if you look at it at their point of view, the way they look at it, you can make sense out of it, but you have to understand how they look at it to make sense out of it. Me, I don't want to be Amish because I feel like I'm tied down, and I feel like I'm controlled, and being controlled is something that I have a problem with. I cannot be controlled because I get restless and I end up running. There's a lot of people that don't understand the way Amish people live, and they won't be able to make sense out of it. So I made this video to help people better understand the way Amish people live. I grew up Amish, I can still speak Amish, and I still consider myself Amish because it's the same thing with Hispanic people coming over here from Mexico. When they come from Mexico to the United States, they are still a Mexican or Spanish or whatever you want to call them. It's the same thing with Amish people. You can, even though you leave, it does not necessarily mean you're never going to run away from your blood, because you're Amish, you're born Amish, you're always going to be Amish. So a lot of people leave and say, I'm ex-Amish. I don't agree with that because you can't run away from who you are. It's always going to follow you. There's some people that's going to disagree with me, some people that are going to be mad, but once you're Amish, you're born Amish, you leave the Amish, you don't live the Amish lifestyle anymore. It does not mean you're not Amish. Because deep down, your parents are Amish, all your brothers and sisters are Amish, you were born Amish, therefore you have Amish bloodline, you can't get rid of that, so you are Amish. People say that, like, some Amish people, the kids leave, the parents don't want their kids coming to visit. I can go visit my parents anytime I want, spend hours visiting them, brothers and sisters. My parents are cool. There are some parents that don't allow their children to visit, but mine do. I can go home and visit anytime I want to, which is great. They support me for what I want to do. I explained them the way that I see things, and they saw it from my point of view. They were okay with it. Right at first when I left, they were not very happy. They were actually sad because of the way they believe that I can't get to heaven if I'm not Amish. But I was living a life of lies is why I left, because I had a phone, I drank a lot, I drove, all that stuff is not, I wore regular clothes, all that stuff is not allowed amongst the Amish. So I felt like a hypocrite, but I was living life the way I wanted to, so if I come out here, I can do what I want, however I want to do it, and there's nobody gonna be nobody telling me, hey, you can't do that, you can't go drink, you can't wear those clothes, you can't drive, all that stuff. So I feel better about myself because I'm not living a life of lies. I don't feel like a hypocrite. There are good, honest people. I'm not trying to say there's not, because there are. But there's also anything that goes on in the real world out here goes on in the Amish community. The Amish protect the Amish, and that is why a lot of that stuff don't get found out. I'm not here to relieve any secrets or nothing. I'm just, well, a lot of people don't like breaking on this show. I'm not saying some of that stuff ain't true, but a lot of it was made up. The Amish Mafia, none of that's true. That's all made up. There's people gonna say that that ain't true, but it is. There's people gonna say that I'm not Amish, but I am. Some people will consider me ex-Amish, maybe, but I might be. I'm not saying I don't live the Amish lifestyle anymore, so my blood is still Amish though. But there's great Amish people, very great. Amish people take care of their own. If a neighbor's house burns down, barn burns down, they will help him rebuild it for free. Don't charge him anything. The church will raise funds to rebuild his house. Maybe even they even might even go as far as that. They take care of their own people, and they stay to themselves a lot. Also, the Amish people, the young kids my age, drink a lot. I understand why, because I live that life. I don't judge nobody for what they do, but it's just a lot of people don't understand the Amish ways. So this is just a starter video. I plan to make a lot more. Hopefully I can find some Amish people that are willing to be in a video with me to prove that I can speak Amish, and that I was Amish. I know certain people don't want their faces like on the internet, Amish people, for their own protection from the church, and I'll definitely respect that. Any questions, I'll be glad to answer.